Right. So, as far as uh, healthcare process itself is concerned, in the last sessions we have discussed about healthcare claim processing, facets integration, all that stuff. Wherein today I'm going to discuss about a business flow, especially for CMS healthcare integration. Because anyway, as in when you guys know, like CMS, nothing but Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which is a regulatory body who manages Medicare and Medicaid plans. Uh, when it comes to the integration, especially in healthcare, majorly uh, involved different structural sequences as well as the processes, where when we are connecting this with any healthcare providers or any kind of payers and all that. In this process, whenever we are working on CMS, which majorly provides the kind of delivery care to the patients whoever is enrolled for the programs like Medicare, Medicaid programs and all. In reference to the healthcare integration part, because there are two different things in application side. One is about the configuration side, second is integration. Configuration means how you are configuring your application, right? So that's where generally configuration come into picture. Means you are configuring according to the business rules, government mandates, followed by the kind of activity rules that are involved and all. Based on that, whatever the logic we are developing, any user interface changes you want to make, or if you want to make any changes in the field editings in the developer environment, this is also comes under the configuration side. Second, integration. When you talk about integration, where it can be of any API, it can be RESTful API or it can be of anything, right? So using RESTful API or something wherein we have to integrate with one application to another application. So where if you want to develop a communication for that, generally this is something which normally we use. In this process of healthcare integration, especially CMS integration, we must be knowing about what is the business flow that is involved in this. There is a complete business flow of course, detailed explanation I'll be giving in the next video, but whatever that I'm going to explain today about the high level overview about what are the different CMS roles do we have? Okay, what are the different steps normally we follow when we are working on it? This is all something which I'm explaining here. So in this process, the first one about as I mentioned you, which is about yeah, 1 minute, right? So patient enrollment and coverage verification. This is the first one. This is an initial step, majorly focuses more on verification as well as approval, followed by the kind of care delivery you are going to perform. Okay, that's where generally we focus more on that. That's where generally patient enrollment coverage verifications comes into picture. Means patient has to be covered, do the coverages, enrollment for the programs, for the healthcare programs which they have decided. At the same time, whatever the required coverage verifications, everything comes under that category. That is point number one. Second, when we talk about provider enrollment and credentials, providers nothing but I am talking about uh, the hospitals, healthcare clinics, etc. Right? So they have to enroll the list of healthcare providers. Depends on the kind of network we use. Either it can be A network or it can be B. So different provider enrollment and credentials will be involved in it. So that will also be involved in the CMS. When we want to integrate, these are the key elements one to be known with. Next, care delivery and documentation, because what kind of quality care are we going to provide? What kind of quality care services we are providing for the customers, care management, case management, and how this can be documented. So this is also one of the element and the flow you need to know. Next, claim submission. This is a common thing which is known for everyone, because claim submissions means when you want to process any kind of claims and all, people were asking expert about some claim submissions, how you do the claim submission, right? So what are the different elements do we have? Okay, because when there is any kind of claim submitted by the provider once the treatment is completed, that we have to verify and validate the detailed information that was mentioned in the document was right or not. So based on that, claim adjudication, claim payment settlements will happen. So claim submission is also one of the key element, because CMS people who receives the claims and all, followed by claim submission, they do the claim processing and adjudication, because if there is any kind of uh, if there are any kind of questions they wants to answer, get answers for that. Means, for example, there is some amount of cost which was mentioned for a particular treatment. So why was this mentioned? Or for example, some X-ray or scanning to be taken where it was taken twice, more than once. So why was that, right? So, and for example, cost overnight stay, right? So what are the charges that were mentioned? So they want some adjudication they want to see, so that they will clarify. So based on that, which cost they have to be paid, etc., everything will be taken care of by the payer. That's the reason why claim processing adjudication will come into picture, followed by the payment and reimbursement. This is also one of the key and important factor when it comes to the healthcare CMS is concerned. These are all the key elements: patient enrollment, provider enrollment, care delivery, claim submissions, claims processing, adjudication, etc. All that. Next are payments and reimbursements, etc. The remaining ones were administrative activities like quality reporting and performance evaluation from the user side. Next, how we are going to engage patients and how quality care are we going to provide, what kind of quality care activities that we have to be performed, what kind of quality care standards that we have to follow. These are all comes under the patient engagement and care coordinations. Next one about regulatory compliance and audit, right? So what are the regulatory compliance audit standards that we have to follow? Because organization to organization, company to company, country to country, regulatory compliance rules, policies and procedures, that standards we have to follow when we are working on the applications. Last but not least, when we generate multiple reports, etc., multiple activities that we generated, so that has to be reported. That reporting, creating reports is not only the thing, but continuous improvement of improving healthcare services, more accurate, more faster, more secure, more scalable, and more reliable for the customers is one of the key and important element when we are working on the healthcare integration. So when we are working for any CMS, which is for Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, as far as the business flow in regard to the healthcare integration itself is concerned, is this. So how this patient enrollment and coverage verification will work, how the provider enrollment and credentials will work, the rest of the things, right? So the remaining things, etc. All these things I'm going to discuss in the next session.